Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Little Squid League number 42. My name is Rocket, and I'm here joined on the mic with Pat. How are you doing today, Pat?
I am doing wonderfully, and I can't wait to watch some wonderful LSL action. We are now in semifinals. The best of these teams tonight are here. We're going to watch Empty Pleasant Junior School versus Turbo Torben. Turbo Torben. That's a tongue twister.
Like a little alliteration with the names, yes. And we are now in the later half of the brackets. We are, as a reminder, in Diamond Bracket, the best of the best, as you have said, Pat. And starting us off, we will have Splat Zones on MakoMart. Always a joy to see.
Yeah, it's always a good one to set the pace for your set, to know what the other team is about. Pretty much any strategy works well on MakoMart as long as as your team is able to stay coordinating with the fights. Pay attention because there are lots of ways to get onto the zone. It's honestly become a classic of tournaments of all kind, and whether it's low level, mid level, or top level, everybody loves to play on this map because yeah, any weapon has something to do here.
Yeah, and to add on to what you were saying, Pat, with the variety of weapons that work well here, there's so many different ways to play it as well as
Mhm.
teams tend to do. There's no, I guess, preferred way that everybody likes to play. Everybody likes to approach the map mode in
Mhm.
its unique way, whether it is sharking near the ledges, going around the paths, or if just standing back and just painting zone and just pushing
Mhm.
the other team out through basically just pressure and through pressuring pressuring specials such as like
Yeah.
triple ink strike, whether it be Zuka, all these types of specials just to disorientate the other team.
Yeah, and whatever strategy you decide to use, we are very likely to see a very back and forth game. Lots of things that could happen. I don't know much these teams, Rocket. I don't pay. I don't know that much about low level these days. Do you know them? Have you seen them before?
No, these are new faces to me as well, Pat, but just taking a look at the bracket real quick on Sendu, MT Pleasant have gone through their bracket pretty smoothly, winning their first round 1 2-0 against Wave Illusion, winning 2-1 against Infinity in round 2. On the other side, however, Turbo have also been pretty dominant as well, winning the same amount 2-1 in their first and
Mhm.
2-0 in their second. So definitely interested to see what these two teams will look like going against each other as we see these two lines. A paintbrush on the side of Turbo Torben, something that you don't normally see often, but I like on MakoMart.
Yeah, and Tika on the side of Junior School is bringing the Dapple Julie's Nouveau, these Dapple Julies. And like a very hard weapon to use, but used well, they can do a lot of damage, especially since can Reef Slider onto the zone. Right now, it looks like that's one team is going to take full control of the map to start off. Very, very nice control. That's very clean fight to open.
Yeah, the Xena getting a beautiful pick there onto the paintbrush and just trying to poke at members of MT Pleasant, just trying to push them back with the triple ink strike
Mhm.
available as well, pushing them outside in combination with the Reef Slider to try to flip the zone. However, Turbo Turbine still managing to hold on this Dapples, trying to take a
Ooh.
fight with the edit, however, not managing to get the pick, and that will be a wipeout. Now Turbo Turbine continuing to increase their lead, nearing the 50-point mark, and now MT Pleasant needs to develop a push here to get them out of this and keep them alive.
Yeah, incredibly good control by Torben, just getting splat after splat, but it looks like it's getting to an end right now. They have two players down, and all of Empty Pleasant is on the attack. Incredible hold by Turbo. Now it's an Empty Pleasant to get the comeback, to establish themselves in their position and deny the push from Turbo. They're not wasting an opportunity, and they get punished in their push right now. It looks like Empty Pleasant is going to mirror what Turbo just did to them and hold the zone for long. They get I mean, they are staggering that team right now and not stopping it. Splat after splat for Empty Pleasant.
Yeah, back and forth. MT Pleasant saw what Turbo Torben did at the beginning of the match and said, oh, well, we can do that too. We can do it better. As they take the lead here with 25 left on MT Pleasant's score, nearing taking down these players of Turbo Turbine at this point, just throwing themselves, this Carbon just running straight at the zone, just the pain at the edit as well. This Gal trying to prevent members of Turbo Turbine to get on, however, they fall 3 members down. Turbo Turbine able to push back and at least keep themselves alive, putting a huge penalty onto MT Pleasant. However, they have a penalty of their own they need to push back.
Yeah, Turbo able to really finally get back in there, and we've seen how good these two teams are able to hold, how good these teams are at really denying the push. But here comes the Rift Slider. That's enough to flip the zone for MT Pleasant. They're going to keep that lead, and right now they get trade after trade. It's 2 players left onto the map fighting for it, and the tap shots by the Charger to punish the Roller. That's an incredibly important pick as well. MT Pleasant stays on top of the zone. Turbo Torben still fighting, trying to get there, but right now they're in disarray. Both teams still fighting. Ooh! Very nice punish, thanks to the heavy edit, and that heavy edit is getting another pick right there. Turbo Torben is back in control of the zone. They need to hold it, though. We have less than 2 minutes left in the game, Rocket.
Yeah, Pat, and on the side of MT Pleasant, the Dapples have the Reef Slider available for this push. A good initial pick onto the Gal, but 2 members of MT Pleasant falling, and 3 actually now falling. The Reef Slider goes out from the Dapple, managing to find 2 with it, however, fall. Managing to find 3, actually. It is a slaughter fest here, however, despite all the kills on both sides, MT Pleasant still managed to hold the zone ever so slightly, still a scrum in the middle. They will manage to find a pick onto the Gal, another pick onto the Paintbrush, and it is just back and forward here. However, MT Pleasant still managing to hold onto the zone despite losing all these members, and now nearing the 25 mark in terms of their penalty points. They could go for a knockout here if 1 or 2 more team fights go well for them.
Yep, they don't need much, and that one pick onto the Carbon. The Carbon is so important to Turbo Torben's ability to push right there. And another snipe! That is incredible, and with just a few ticks, MT Pleasant only needs to paint, and they do more than that. They get a wipeout, and they get game number 1. And what a game, Rocket!
Yeah, we saw so many good plays from the entire team, but I want to highlight the ZNF's scope as well on Rosa. Rosa was hitting some amazing shots there on the closer range weapons in instances where you think they have the disadvantage. The Carbon just basically in their face, and just Rosa maintaining cool under pressure, being able to get the quick kill, and just being a key member for MT Pleasant on that map.
Yeah, Rosa crushed a few dreams right there with that rifle. That was the difference that allowed really MT Pleasant to pull through, because Turbo Torben opened incredibly strong. They had the fights completely going their way. They had full control over the map, really reading everything MT Pleasant was about to do, countering it, punishing it, doing everything perfectly. But slowly but surely, MT Pleasant getting more and more momentum, learning what Turbo Torben was doing and adapting, getting better and better. And we saw at the end a team, MT Pleasant, really able to get full control over the zone. They were the ones winning the fights. They were the ones with the position. And now they are up 1-0. But Turbo Torben, not that far behind. We saw them getting a few good splats. If they're able to find the good counter pick, they could very well come back in this set.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Pat. As remember, Turbo Torben were the first team to knock it down to 50-point mark on their initial like first few minutes of the match, as they basically did what MT Pleasant did at the beginning, was just being able to push them out and keep them staggered. However, MT Pleasant with a brilliant comeback and just being able to counterattack with such efficiency and teamwork. It was nice to see, and what won them that match. However, we have the counter pick in, and it is tower control on Hagglefish market here, Pat.
I mean, tower control on Hagglefish is very much a classic counter pick at all level. You have, again, so many different strategies that can work. The map is much more open, which could be a problem for Turbo Torben, given how good Rosa has been doing with that Zekofin Charger. this is going to be the danger. I feel like if Torben, mm, I mean, they need to find a counter to that charger. If they find a counter to that charger, they should have more ways onto the tower. They should have more ways to push in, and they would have a very good option because the moment the distance was cut, the moment they were able to get mano a mano with the opponent, Torben were doing incredibly well in these fights. It's just cutting the distance onto that charger.
Yeah, and some interesting things that we might see from Turbo Torben, maybe pulling out a different weapon with Bubble to at least give them
Ooh.
a ledge in, or just give them space to poke at that charger, like you said, Pat, or just maybe they fight fire with fire and bring a charger of their own. Who knows? We will see quite soon as we load into game two. In this 5 game set, no means is it over between these two teams, as there's plenty of counterplay to be had left on tower control. Maybe we can see a blaster. Hopefully, maybe Rosa we see
Ooh.
on that charger again. Make sure you keep an eye
Mhm.
on them. Both teams electing to keep their same comps. We will move into game two.
Yeah, I mean, these comps were fighting well. Torben a bit outranged by the charger right there. They're going to need to find a way to shark in with that carbon right now. Both teams just waiting around the tower, waiting for an opportunity, waiting for a mistake on the other side. And it looks like that gal for Torben is going in with the wall, is going to try to get into that fight, and that's not working for Turbo. Empty punishing incredibly strong Rocket, getting the wipeout and pushing the tower directly to the first checkpoint.
That was a really good defense there from MT Pleasant that turned into a quick wipeout. Two members of Turbo Turbine were going around the left side, just trying to get in the backs of MT Pleasant. However, MT Pleasant get wiped out of their own as Turbo Turbine saw that defense from MT Pleasant and was like, all right, we can do it too. We can get in behind, we can pick you off, and now Turbo Turbine able to turn things around. However, MT Pleasant still pretty happy about that initial push as they managed to get past the first checkpoint and nearing the 50-point mark. Now, with Cooler active, they could start for a push here. This Reef Slider trying to get picked, managing to find two members of Turbo Turbine, 3 members of Turbo Turbine falling, and now a delayed wipe for Turbine, as both these teams have been able to prove to us, Pat, that they're able of a solid defense and a quick counterattack.
Yep, we'll see which team is able to get the most off of it. So far, Empty Pleasant has the checkpoint advantage, but it's not over, especially since Turbo are throwing their frontliners forward. This time, it looks like it's working for them. They get the picks and they get to paint all of me. Turbo Torben is going to be able to get some momentum going, but they need to get to that first checkpoint. And Empty Pleasant, as you said, in very good defensive position. These two teams are showing us how to defend, and they're doing it well, but ooh, don't be too eager to get into the fight. Torben got 2 picks, and they're going to get another push onto the tower, another try to the first checkpoint.
Yeah, this carbon, I think, on the side of Turbo Torben may be the key to be shutting down Rosa on that ZNF on the other side. This carbon just trying to get towards the... However, as I was talking about how it could be the key to shutting down Rosa, Rosa shuts down that carbon. In turn, 3 members of Turbo Turbine falling. Just left the gal in the mid there, managing to get picked off by Rosa. It is a delayed wipe, and now Empty Pleasant on the attack here. Rosa, obviously, on the tower here, has triple ink strike here to help their team get in, seeing if anything can be done with it. The triple ink strike going out, the gal falling, and pretty good start to this attack.
Yeah, Empty Pleasant, they still have the lead, but given how slim it is, they really can't rest on that lead. And right now, they're still fighting left and right. We see lots of Splat, but with you down onto Turbo Torben, this could be another opportunity for Empty Pleasant to get in. They get another Splat, and they get a lot of momentum, but they need to move the tower. I feel like they're just waiting around painting. Are they going to try to play the clock? There's more than a minute and a half left. It's going to be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, I can understand playing the clock. However, there's still plenty of clock to play. However,
Ooh.
if they keep just eliminating all these players of Turbo Torben, it might not even matter, Pat, as 3 went down there. This NZAP just camping the ledge of Turbo Turn, trying to find a pick. However, they run face first into the Carbon. Unfortunately, this Carbon trying to get into the backs, managing to find another
Oh,
pick. And off the back of that, Turbo Torben will get a wipeout. And nearing the 1 minute 10 mark, this Carbon and the rest of Turbo Torben push forward off of that advantage. The lead here
yep.
between both these teams are pretty close, and we will see how Turbo Torben does on this attack.
Yep, missiles are deployed for Turbo Torben, but they don't find much of a target. Right now, both teams are so even as Turbo Torben are trying to push the tower past that. No, wait! They lost all their players, just the Gal. The Gal has to move back, try to keep what they have, and they get picked as well. That's incredibly good for Empty Pleasant. Now you can play the club. Now all they need to do is paint around, get a few trade, and that should be enough with a tactical deployed. Empty Pleasant are looking to get game number 2, but oh, 3 down onto them, Rocket! 3 down, this could be the last push for Turbo Torben.
Yeah, and the point total ever so close. One mistake can win Turbo Torben this game, as what the Carbon is already down. 2 members are down for Turbo Torben, however. Empty Pleasant not taking this one easy. 3 players are down just on the back of this NZAP, trying to get a wipeout on themselves. They do eventually fall, though. 5 seconds left on the clock. They need to hop onto this Turbo Torben with the Carbon on the... They just need to hop on it. However, Turbo Torben managing to get the lead at the very end off of that Carbon's beautiful play there, being able to wipe out all members of MT Pleasant and taking game 2 for Turbo Torben.
Well, what a close game. Turbo Torben just snatching the wipeout and the victory in the last second of the game. Empty Pleasant keeping a lot of control throughout all of this game, but Turbo Torben simply waiting for the right opportunity, finding the momentum, going forward and getting game number 2, tying up the score.
Yeah, no lead is ever safe, and in a quick and fast-paced fighting game like Splatoon, and especially how the game is played now, Turbo Torben, like you said, were able to take quick advantage of that nearing the end. Even though near like the 15-second mark, I believe they had 3 players down, with the Gal just being the last one. They were able to quickly regroup, being able to quickly wipe out members of MT Pleasant. And I believe Turbo Torben got like 3 different wipeouts on MT Pleasant at the end there.
Yeah, there were lots of splats going around, and Turbo Torben really showing sometimes when the overtime happens, the clock is at the end. Sometimes you panic, you don't know what to do. Turbo Torben was in the completely opposite mindset. They locked on, they knew every part of the team knew what they had to do. I had to be here. I have to be here. I have to shoot that guy. I have to throw that bomb. And everything aligned, allowing for Turbo Torben to get that wipeout and tying up. And that's promising to be a very, very interesting set that we're going to watch, Rocket.
100%, and I love to see it, as both these teams are evenly matched, as we see Turbo Torben responded really quickly from their first loss on Splat Zones, commandingly being able to get that overtime hit. And now it is MT Pleasant's counter pick here. I wonder what they might be thinking, wondering if they're probably going to stick with their same comp, but who knows? These teams may want to switch it up here now, but sometimes we see teams sticking with what they got despite being down or just losing their map pick. They might stick with their same, or they may switch it up at the very last moment to just surprise, to be an element of surprise. Both these teams are pretty sure what they are going to be facing here now.
Yeah, I feel like given this was Turbo Torben's favorite map mode, we can expect, considering that's what they counterpick. And Empty Pleasant still did very well. It was still an incredibly hard-fought game. If Empty Pleasant goes onto a map mode where they are happy, where they play to their strength, I don't think they need to change, to switch away from the weapons that they like. It's all a matter of identifying what's good for them right now, what could benefit them. I don't think they should go back to tower control if they need any hint. I feel like this is not necessarily the best for them, and it looks like we're going to go back to splat zones, this time on the ROM-en.
Yeah, MT Pleasant seems to be very comfortable with zones, as both of their picks have been on zones. Now, Splat Zones on RoboRamen is a really nice map, especially as I've as we've seen, what these weapons these players are bringing with those dapples with Reach Slider, really good map to bring that on. Always on zone. I feel like that's why they picked zone to begin with, just to have that zone cheese. Obviously, Rosa as well in the back to uh, prove to be a nasty duo for MT Pleasant.
Yep, and right now it is time to go get in. We'll see if teams are able to change what their comp, as you said. But right now, Empty Pleasant pretty much bringing back the same thing, and yeah, that's like similar weapons that what we've seen so far.
Yeah, the one change I see though is on Turbo Torben electing to go with the T-Tech instead of the Gal. I like that choice a lot as it allows for that triple ink strike for zones, a really good retaking. But as we see, Turbo Torben able to get the first pop onto the zone, however, losing 2 members in the process. But we will see if MT Pleasant are able to take advantage of this as more and more members are falling. It is just a carbon left to their own devices, and it will be a delayed wipe for Turbo Torben. Now, with the double wall, which is really funny on the side of MT Pleasant, a wall of just a barrier being built here from MT Pleasant into Turbo Torben's side.
Yeah, it's going to be a lead for MT Pleasant, and they're getting more than a lead right now. They have that control over the map. What a hold right there. Turbo Torben fighting their way out of their spawn, able to get a few good splats, and that is like, as you said, throwing the strikes to capture the zone. That's going to be Turbo Torben back in control right now, looking to establish some momentum as MT Pleasant is already coming back.
Yeah, and out of the penalty points too, so this means that the lead can be quickly changed on a dime here. The T-Tech on the side, losing the battle against the duel, the Carbon also falling, and this may be a quick return for Turbo Torben. However,
Ooh, yeah.
3 members down for Turbo Torben, and MT Pleasant, this gal here, just in the presence, will have to fall back on the back of that. However, being able to quickly flip the zone, maintaining their lead, we will see if Turbo Torben can respond in kind.
Yep, and right now it looks like MT Pleasant is winning the fight as they're getting rid of their penalty. This could be pretty painful for Turbo Torben as MT Pleasant is looking to extend their lead, but no, Turbo Torben getting the splats and the penalty at the same time. Now they're just going to run forward. The Carbon missing the punish onto the super jump. That's going to be a very bad thing. 2 down onto Turbo Torben. MT Pleasant are back in control of the zone. These 2 teams are going back and forth so fast, Rocket.
It is really entertaining to see the Reef Slider available for the dualies, managing to find the edit. 3 go down, 4 go down for the side of Turbo Torben. A wonderful response from MT Pleasant here, again, with the double wall lineup. I like it on the Gal and the ZNF, just being a barrier and an annoyance. Beautiful shot there from Rosa. Oh my gosh, on a falling player there, 2 members going down on the side of Turbo Torben, and with 20 left, Turbo Torben maybe have one last push left in them.
And they need to not panic, they need to stay coordinated. They're already able to get 1 pick onto the dapples. They're on the zone, looking to paint it. They're able to apply the penalty and stay alive in this game with 3 down onto MT Pleasant. Turbo is still in this game, still scoring. They have 2 minutes to get a good comeback now.
Yeah, just back and forth, like you've said, Pat, before. Now Turbo Torben with the zone, 2 real fast, and now MT Pleasant, just like that, as I was saying, get a wipeout onto all members of Turbo Torben. Again, it is back and forth with these wipes here, and it is just unpredictable what can happen as any counterattack will happen fast. However, Turbo Torben, again, without much time, this ZNF managing to find a pick. Penalty points go low here, and 3 Turbo Torben are falling with 10 left, and another wipeout. We have seen so many wipeouts on both these teams, and that will just about do it for Turbo Torben on this map. MT Pleasant getting it commandingly and winning another zone map, now up 2-1 in this. We are going to game 4 and set point for MT Pleasant.
It was so back and forth. I got whiplash, but MT Pleasant every once in a while would win one extra fight, would stay ahead of the zone a little bit longer, and got more and more points off of that. Torben, well, not that happy with zones. We It's their turn to counterpick now. They get to decide the next counterpick. That is what they need. They were not that far behind Empty Pleasant here. They were in these fights. It's just that Empty pleasant had a more pleasant time on the zone right there, Torben. If they go onto a mode where they're happier, they have a very good shot at getting back into this set.
For sure, I agree with you, Pat. As if I was Turbo Turbine here, I would steer clear from splat zones because,
Mhm.
like you said, it has been shown how MT Pleasant have been dominating pretty much on that. Not too much domination on MakoMart, but splat zones Robo Ramen definitely showed their strength. And Turbo Torben may want to switch up the game mode a little bit. We haven't seen a Clam Blitz or Rainmaker on the set yet, so I wonder if maybe Turbo Torben is holding on to a certain map in their back pocket, just waiting to put it out. But now would be the time to use it, as now down 2-1. Any mistake could prove fatal.
Yeah, MT Pleasant Junior School are one game away from the final of this little Squid League Fortitude. Turbo Torben need to get the good map, need to get the good mode to really put uh to really put them off balance, to really be able to get the comeback. It's not just about winning the next game, it's about establishing momentum going into game number 5. It's a very uphill battle for Turbo Torben, but they've shown us how good they can do when under pressure, how hard they can fight for a comeback. It's all about that next map mode that they choose.
Yeah, and I'm definitely interested to see if Turbo Torben maybe have some weapon changes in their back pocket. Maybe not. Like, I'm not encouraging anything, but Turbo Torben knows more about their game plan than I do. They probably have practiced their lineup for quite a while, probably know what works, what doesn't, but I kind of want to see different map mode, and we
Ooh.
will see one Rainmaker on Scorch Gorge. I'd love to see it.
Yep, it's a classic of Rainmaker, and don't blink. The game could be a stalled fight into mid with neither team able to really get the checkpoint, or it could be one team blitzing forward straight to that ramp that's right under the final goal. It could be very fast, and honestly, I think that is very good for the way Turbo Torben plays. Turbo Torben, they like to get a wipeout and just run forward as fast as they can. This is perfect for them.
Yeah, I think, Pat, what we're gonna see, if I were to make a prediction, is both these teams will probably get the first checkpoint pretty easily. However, that second for the knockout will be the real battle here, as we've seen in this set between both of these teams, they either go all in or they fold, as they seem to always be 3 or 4 down, both teams getting wiped out. They seem to play very riskily, very close together, but if it pays off, it will pay off big time.
Yep, it's all about making the bet pay off on Scorch Gorge. Again, it's always a risky map. It's always a risky one when you go onto Rainmaker, because one mistake is all it takes to have the Rainmaker go into your spawn, or another mistake is all it takes to have a single bomb kill the Rainmaker and stop your push in its track. It's very much a double-edged sword, and we'll see if Turbo Torben are able to wield that sword to get the game number 5.
By the way, just a quick shout out to all of you people here joining us during the Splatfest. Thank you for being here and tuning in to us. Maybe you might be grinding out the Splatfest as I was earlier, just having this on a different screen as well. Thank you for showing up. And just out of curiosity, Pat, have you played the Splatfest? And if so, what team have you chosen?
I'm on Team Rice because my friends asked me to.
Yeah.
But I have barely played today. I've had so many tournaments to watch today. I haven't had the time to play, but I love watching people play in tournaments, and I'm so glad that we get to see these awesome LSL actions. I mean, these teams are giving us such a show. I'm glad I'm missing out on the Splatfest right now.
For sure, I'm also grateful for that as well, and I thank all of you joining us here today to see this beauty in action. And yeah, I'm also on Team Rice, so shout out to all of you Team Rice out there. Let's see if we can get this
Yep.
win in the Splatfest. As we wait for both these teams to load in, both teams seem to be ready, and we are gonna get lock and loaded into Game 4 here real soon. Scorch, Gorge, Rainmaker. We actually have one player we're still waiting on, and as whoopsie, but as I mentioned, yeah, both these teams know each other well now. We will see if anything different will come out on the side of Turbo Torben.
Yeah, it's what's pretty nice about these best of fives. You can start to understand how the other team is playing, how they think, and you can start to adapt your strategy to what they're doing. Now the team that's able to adapt will be able to advance, and right now it looks like a Pleasant are the team that are pulling through, but I mean Turbo Torben again, with that pick of Rainmaker, they know what they're doing. That's what is fitting their playstyle the best. That's what they want to do. All they need to do is just make sure that they don't do a mistake, or at least make one less mistake than the other team.
Yeah, and as we see these weapon comms being pulled out, both the same of game one at the beginning of this set, we will see the Gal, the Carbon, the Pain, and the Edit on the side of Turbo Torben, and on the other side, the Gal, the Zap, the ZNF, and those beautiful Dapples.
Mhm. Yeah, it's going to be a very quick pop for Empty Pleasant. They get the splats as well. They're going to try to establish some ground, and they already have pretty much a route to the checkpoint. They're already getting there again. You don't want to blink. They're going forward, and that's a very early checkpoint. 30 seconds was all it took for Pleasant to get that checkpoint. Turbo Torben needs to answer with strength, and with two players down, they should at least be able to push Pleasant away.
Yeah, I feel like on Scourge Gorge, after you win that initial team fight, we
Ooh!
will. Oh, the beautiful. Like interrupting
Ooh!
myself, the Dapple being able to get in and get two quick kills on the back of their quick entrance. The Rainmaker reset into mid here, and I got a little distracted there because we just saw that quick Dapple push.
Mhm.
But what I was saying, I feel like both of these teams have. Once they get in a quick team fight, the first checkpoint is the easy part. Just pushing
Mhm.
it past that is the true battle. This Gal managing to find
Ooh.
two quick picks, maybe trying to get a third, pushing this edit back, and just creating space for their team.
Yeah, it's not stopping right now. Empty Pleasant is standing beyond the checkpoint and getting to 40. That's a very good lead right there. Turbo Torben, still, they got the answer. They find the splats. It's just like they need to get the Rainmaker away from their side of the map. They need to find the way forward as they are dodging the torpedoes, dodging everything Empty Pleasant is throwing at them. At least now they are back to mid and trying to find a way in. And oh, the Carbon is getting in there, only finding a splat, but it's on the Zap. That's going to delay the tactic cooler on the side of Pleasant. That's going to allow Turbo Torben to get a bit more momentum.
Yeah, Rosa here on the back foot, trying to run away, not
Ooh!
managing to get
Ooh!
away, and that will be 3 picks on the side of MT Pleasant as 3 members go down there, being able to, unable to win their fights, and now off of that, Turbo Torben now being able to at least get onto MT Pleasant's side of the map, being able to pop that checkpoint. However, as we saw earlier,
Mhm.
MT Pleasant were able to push
Ooh!
a little bit further back. However, Turbo Torben losing momentum on this push, and MT Pleasant, with the quick response, potentially trying to answer like Turbo Torben had and
Mhm.
knocking them out of their side of the map.
Yeah, and now with all the
Oof.
splats that have happened, and all three down, it's just Tika with Dapples. Tika has to move back, and Turbo Torben are going to get an extra push. They get another try at getting the lead right there. Empty Pleasant needs to throw all their bombs, get everything they have, and here comes the... Oh! 44, just 4 points behind, and now, Empty Pleasant able to survive that push. 2 minutes to go. Empty Pleasant is so close to the finals right now.
That defense right there, that by MT Pleasant, might have been the game winner if Turbo Torben are unable to kick them back, especially with being 3 down players here. This Dapple's paving a way, managing to find a
Ooh.
pick onto the edit. The specials are going out as well. The Rainmaker continuing to push forward, knocking it down and extending MT Pleasant's lead even further to the 30-point mark. Pat, MT Pleasant
Ooh.
now in deep into Turbo Torben's zone, continuing to get their lead as well.
19 is huge. Empty Pleasant is just getting more and more and more. They need to pay attention. There's a gal behind them, and they have to dodge these missiles. Oh, do we see a try to get a Chico move onto the Rainmaker? Yes, it looks like they're gonna grab the Rainmaker again. They want to keep the Rainmaker here, Rocket. And now there needs to be another pump, but with 3 down, it looks like Turbo Torben. Oh, okay, Torben, now they're in control and they get the wipe out.
Yeah, that Zap managing to take one with them, throwing that bomb right at the shield there. Now, with 30 seconds left, Turbo Torben does not have a lot of time to respond to this at all, Pat.
Yep.
And with all the pressure on their backs right now, they are definitely sweating bullets as now we near the 20-second mark as well. Specials going out. One mistake can prove fatal here. And Turbo Torben have one final push in them left to keep their tournament hopes alive.
Yeah, the killer well is dodged. You don't want to retreat. You want to keep all the time, but you have 20 seconds left for Turbo Torben to get a miracle push right there. And they have 2 players down onto Empty Pleasant. They have the opportunity. Here comes the Reef Slider. Whoa. Whoa.
That Reef Slider was huge there, managing to not only get the Rainmaker, but shutting down Turbo Torben's push there, shutting down any hope they have of making it to Grand Finals. MT Pleasant will punch their ticket into Grand Finals, beating Turbo Torben 3-1. And that was just a beautiful push there on Turbo Torben's map pick as well.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Turbo Torben felt like they didn't have as much momentum that they wanted to get onto Scorch Gorge. They were kind of struggling to go forward. Empty Pleasant really figuring out how to win each fight, how to get lots of momentum, how to create the surprise, constantly flanking, constantly going behind them, making sure that Turbo Torben cannot catch a breath. And that means Empty Pleasant is guaranteed a spot onto the podium and are going to go into the finals.
Yes, and what waits them in the grand finals is Magical Cure Love Shot, who we saw their quarterfinals matchup against Traffic Cone, how well they were and were able to hold on to that. They beat the Hybrid in a 3-1 semis, the Hybrid going to face on Turbo Torben in their third place.